Hey, I just wanted to take a moment and talk to you about carbs' effect on insulin levels and insulin levels' effect on your body fat. So, a lot of people when they diet, we're talking about nutrition here, a lot of people when they diet, they will go low carb, or they will go low fat, or they will drastically reduce their caloric intake and the idea is that they're taking in less calories than they're expending, so their body is releasing calories and therefore losing weight. But your body gets energy from a lot of different sources. Three main ones: food, fat, and muscle. And food is basically your carbs. If you don't restrict yourself from eating carbs, but rather just choose the right kinds of carbs, your body will store fat. Your body will burn fat like crazy. So what happens is, whether you're eating, a chocolate donut, or whether you're eating a sweet potato, it's the same thing. Your body will look at it as the same thing. All carbs are sugars. And when your body receives a sugar, what happens is it will release a hormone called insulin. And insulin is the hormone that actually tells your body to store fat for energy. So, just so you know, fat is the most efficient source of energy, and insulin will tell your body to store that efficient source of energy for energy later when it feels that it's going to need it, but it ends up just storing the energy if all you're eating is sugars, because you keep releasing that insulin. So basically, some sugars, some carbs will have a higher impact on insulin levels, and some carbs will have a lower impact on insulin levels. So what you want to do is you want to choose the right carbs to where they have a lower impact on insulin levels, a smaller release in insulin. Some insulin isn't bad. Your body actually needs insulin to function, so you don't want it to be zero. So you're always going to have that, but it's that super high spike that's caused from a lot of processed foods and sugar items, candy, donuts, your typical things. But they're also found in white rice, white potatoes. You'll find it in wheat bread. A lot of people would see wheat bread as the best choice for bread, but you'll see that there is a better option for bread, and the whole goal is to reduce insulin levels. And you want to kind of have it balanced. You want to have some, but not too much. It's kind of some examples of foods that would fall into a low glycemic. The glycemic index is it's the measurement of how quickly a certain amount of food will affect insulin levels. So the higher the effect on insulin levels, the higher the glycemic index rating. The lower the effect on insulin levels, the lower the glycemic index rating. Low glycemic foods are good. If you're always going by low glycemic, you're pretty much guaranteed to lose body fat. Always go by low glycemic. So some examples of low glycemic foods would be a sweet potato. You can do a lot of great things with sweet potatoes. And some other examples would be brown rice. If you want to sweeten some things up, it's not necessarily a carb because it's actually calorie free and there's no carbs, protein, anything like that. But while we're talking about carbs, let's talk about sweetening things up. Stevia. Any stevia product is really good. Stevia is an all-natural sweetener, and it has low impact on insulin levels. This is one of my favorites. This company actually has a whole line of different breads. So, like, it has hot dog buns, hamburger buns, it has loaf bread, it has English muffins, it has like cinnamon raisin bread. It also has tortillas, and the product name is Ezekiel, and the logo looks just like this. It's a sprouted grain bread, and sprouted grain breads have a very low impact, very similar to that of a sweet potato. I think even lower than a sweet potato, but it has a very low impact on insulin levels. So this is really good for a lot of people. unless you can't handle bread because of the gluten in it or whatever, that type of thing. But that is one of the very last ingredients on here. Ezekiel bread is a good choice for bread. Pretty much any fruit is fair game. You know, you can't go wrong with eating fruits. If you ever go on a diet or ever have gone on a diet where someone restricted your fruit intake, that's not good. You should be able to eat as much fruit as you want. Also, the same with vegetables. Vegetables are actually negative calories. You use more like green leafy vegetables like lettuce, asparagus, those kind of vegetables. You'll actually use more calories for the most part than you do taking them in. So all vegetables, all fruits are good. When it comes to sweetener, use stevia. Choose low glycemic foods. Anything that's in the store that is labeled low glycemic is a good choice. Unless it's full of sugar and all that kind of stuff, because then they're just taking, the measurement is just it's too small to even go by. So if you see that it's chocolate full, if it's a chocolate protein bar, there's a couple protein bars that have chocolate on them that are okay. But if it's like a chocolate bar, like a candy bar that says low glycemic, then it's probably not the best choice. But there are great choices out there. You just got to keep an eye out for the other blog entries of the recipes that we're sending out, and then keep an eye out in the store for things like sweet potatoes, yams, squash, Ezekiel bread, brown rice, and stuff like that. And if you have any questions on whether a food is high or low on the glycemic index, feel free to leave a comment. And if you have any questions in general, just leave a comment. The idea is that you get the mindset away from losing fat by reducing your calories, get your mindset away from losing fat by reducing the amount of carbs you're bringing in, and then get your mindset away from losing fat from going with a low-fat diet. Your body actually needs fat to function. It needs carbs to function, and it needs calories to function. So give it the carbs you need, give it the fat you need, give it the protein you need, and give it all the calories your body needs to get results. Focus on low glycemic. If you have questions, throw in some comments. We'll see you later.